E3 has officially called it quits. E3's Twitter page actually posted this. It said, after more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last, the time has come to say goodbye. Thanks for the memories. GGWP. So after more than 2 decades, E3 has officially died. And we can actually saw that. A lot of gamers saw this actually coming from a mile away, and here's why. For those of you that aren't familiar with E3, or you should know about it, it's basically the Electronic Entertainment Expo, right? Hence E3, in which they would showcase a lot of the things of the video game industry. So it was an exposition where you would see a lot of the new games, game trailers, and also next generation game consoles being on display for people can actually check it out, right? It was always happening around June, so right before summer, and it was right after, probably before school ended. And the only way that you can actually go to this exposition was actually if you were working with a video game company, right? Or if you were part of a news organization or a journalist that deals with video games, or etc., right? There was actually no way that you can actually go to E3 unless you had proper channels to go in. But at the same time, we saw this, that the last E3 that was the biggest one so far that looked normal was back in 2019, right? We still had a lot of different companies sharing a little bit about trailers, next gen consoles and so on, right? But when 2020 happened, that was the first time that it got canceled, E3, because of COVID-19 restrictions, and also because E3 at the time didn't want to take a chance because of health concerns. Then in the year of 2021, we saw that E3 actually had a virtual expo, right? Which was a little bit of a lackluster. It wasn't the same as, what we would envision E3 to be, right? And then in 2022, it was officially canceled because a lot of video game companies, such as PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, and etc., were pulling out from E3 because they were actually doing their own type of showcases online with their own type of timeline. So they weren't restricted for the summertime, right? So it was on this date, on December 12, 2023, that E3 has officially ended at that moment. So what does it mean for the gamers in general? Well, for me, it means 2 things. Number 1, we lose a very special event of video game history and video game events. Sure, there are showcases that we do get from, Nintendo, we get it from PlayStation, and we get it from Xbox, right? Depending, maybe 2 or 3 times a year. But there was just something special about E3, and I think a lot of gamers don't appreciate it that much, because it was the time where everyone was just glued to the internet and they were looking at the new possibilities of games coming up, and then also getting news about new generation consoles, right? The hype was real, especially during those times. And then the second thing I would say that that was very significant about E3 was, I would have to say that we lose the chance to actually test out these games before their post-production. For those people that were going to E3 that were representing us, the gamers, they were the ones that were telling us how do the games look, how do the games feel, and if they needed to tweak a little bit of things in order for the prototype to do the finishing touches, right? So in that aspect, we lose that. We lose something special, and we understand that. I think the reason why E3 decided to quit is because a lot of the video game companies just didn't want to spend that money. And you also have to think about this. You also have to think about the timeline. A lot of the games that were being showcased on E3, they were putting a deadline on those video game companies saying, like, if you want to go to our convention, right, you have to have a couple of games ready to go, and we need to know what the new generation console is going to look like if you have that available. But you have to have it, right, in order to have more eyes on the internet and also get more promotion, right? So it was a very stressful environment for the developers, to try to figure out, okay, we got to make some games, and also we have to show how the prototype is going to look, or the final product of the next generation console. So I guess it makes sense. It costs a lot of money to rent room and to, you know, renovate and do all that stuff in the convention and promote it. It's a lot of money they have to spend. And I think the now that we live in a different age of social media, a lot of the video game companies decided, you know what, I don't think we need to spend that money. We can actually do our own thing, our own showcases, do it online, and we can do it our own way without the need of spending that extra money in the Los Angeles Convention Center. So it is tough, but I understand it's a type of business. So I'll even ask this question: what does it mean for Kingdom Hearts fans that E3 has officially died? I would have to say that a lot of the Kingdom Hearts fans should say thank you to E3. That's the actual way that we found out about Kingdom Hearts. If you go back to E3 2001, that was the first trailer teaser that we saw about Kingdom Hearts. And then ever since then, all of the Kingdom Hearts fans has been eagerly waiting for the new title. Back in 2005, we saw about Kingdom Hearts 2, and then the most famous one that everyone went crazy about, going back to 2013. Remember that? When Tetsuya Nomura just finished showing the trailer of Final Fantasy 15, and at that moment he says there is a new trailer with an upcoming title. So we first saw it, we were kind of like holding our breaths. The minute we saw that Disney logo, we lose our minds, and then we just saw the whole, you know, Kingdom Hearts different cutscenes from all the different games, and then we just saw Sora picking up the Keyblade on Destiny Islands, Erica's Keyblade, and then it popped out Kingdom Hearts 3, the 3 symbol that just came out, and it's now in development, right? Amazing. Those are some of the moments that are priceless, right? That you see the reactions of people of just how everything was wild. So I want to say, you know, it is going to be tough that E3 is no longer with us, and I kind of wish I was able to go. That was actually one of my bucket list places to do, to go to an E3 convention, and I was actually planning on going next year, but unfortunately, you know, things don't last forever, and you kind of have to appreciate things while they're there. So without further ado, I just want to say, E3, thank you for the memories, thank you for the wonderful trailers, thank you for the community, and also thank you for all of the joy that you gave us gamers, just being there, and the anticipation of the summer, of knowing that these are the games that we should be looking for the rest of the year. Before internet, before the whole social media thing, it was just something that was very special, right? You are gone, but not forgotten. So thank you, E3, for everything. So what did you guys think about today's video? Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification so you know when future videos are available. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and again, stay awesome.